Hey guys, it's Aspen Green Thumb, and I'm a lover of plants. I want to show you how to take better care of them. I've got a prayer plant that needs propagating, and it'd be the perfect opportunity to show you how it's done. Let's take a look. New growth. Love Aspen. All right, here's the culprit right here. This guy. He got a little bit burnt in the sun and dropped a few leaves. So now he's kind of viney, kind of crusty, but it's okay because he's shooting up some new growth. I don't know if you can see that there. And definitely some very healthy clusters. So we're going to get a couple new plants out of this guy. First thing to decide is whether you want to do a water or a soil propagation. I personally almost always do a water propagation. That's when you just directly place the cutting into a vase of water. For me, I just prefer that method because you can see the progress of the cutting, you can see the roots grow. It's just a lot more interactive, but a wet soil propagation works just as well. But for this one, I will be doing a water propagation. For that, you only need two things: a clean pair of scissors, and like I said earlier, just a vessel of water to place the cutting in. So what is a cutting? Well, a cutting is the part of a plant that you chop off that's eligible to form a new plant. And the way you know where to place your cuts is by finding the nodes on a plant. And the nodes on a prayer plant are a little bit harder to find than one like pothos. Pothos's nodes are very defined. You can kind of see they're very bumpy. But prayer plants, here, I'll give you a little up close. A prayer plant's nodes are just where you would see like a ridge right here, and then a ridge right there. They're right next to each other. And there's kind of like, you see those tiny little bumps? I hope it's focusing. That is where a new growth would occur. So like a new leaf or a new root. All right, now the fun part, making your new plants and determining which ones are viable. So for example, this guy, probably not. He's a little too burnt, a little too crispy. Probably just gonna chop him off and toss him. Do that. As you can see, very sunburned and damaged. He would not grow roots and turn into a new plant. So we'll just chuck that. All right, and then let's take a look at this guy. We'll cut him off at the base and take a close look. I do see nodes. So the nodes are where, again, the bump meets the bump, and you have a bunch of tiny little ridges that could turn into roots or new stems. But I'm not seeing, this one's pretty wrinkled, pretty damaged by the sun. I'm not seeing any new growth. I don't believe this one is going to be viable. So I'm just going to toss this one as well. We're saving the best for last, don't worry. All right, do this guy, yeah. All right, so definitely, again, nodes on this guy, and he has new growth. There's a new leaf coming out of this prayer plant right here. But the tip of this new leaf has turned brown. So again, it could be that this new leaf fully forms and shoots out a new leaf. I'm gonna try with this one. Let's put this one in water and see if roots will form. So I will be cutting. The roots would likely shoot out along in between here and here. So I'm going to give it some space. I'm going to cut it right there. And there's our first cutting. We will set him to the side. All right, on to the next one. So this guy is a monster. This is all one cluster. And if you get real close, you can see all those different nodes. So we're gonna have a lot of cuts to make there. But first, as we want to, cut him at the base. And we have a bald little plant. But no worries, as you peek, some of those guys at their bases had already given up on their little stems and they were growing new shoots at the bottom. So this guy is not done for. I'm gonna put him outside, give him a lot of sun, and he's just gonna be just all right in a few weeks. All right, this monster cutting needs some surgery. He has so many nodes and nutrient points that I feel like we could break him up into a few different plants. I'm gonna take my clean scissors and I'm gonna chop right here. And I'm going to chop. There's a new leaf there. And there's a new leaf here. So I feel like I can separate the two right down the middle. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna keep this guy as just one giant. I feel like if I separate, here's the new leaf right here, and the other new leaf is right here. So these are the two stems that this plant is shooting out of. And they're coming off of kind of the same central node system right here, all in that area. So if I were to split those two apart, I would have to cut that node system in half. Yes, there are nodes down here, and I guess this could be a new leaf, but he's so wonky looking that I don't want to risk losing all of this just for this guy. I'm gonna leave him as one and just have one giant little cutting. Okay, time to put these cuttings in their new watery little homes. No need to be fancy, you can just plop them right in there. But for me personally, I like to be a little extra and give them some plant food. I use Super Thrive, just a little, one drop for each little cup of water. But you can use any brand of dissolvable plant food. I would talk to anybody at your local plant store. They can help you, point you in the right direction. So I'm gonna put one little tiny drop in each of these containers, and by one little tiny drop, I mean I'm gonna do my best to put a little bit. There we go. This is where an eyedropper would be helpful. Oh, I did better on that one. Oh, okay, that one I'm gonna have to redo. All right, so I'm back. I put the proper amount of fertilizer in this container. You don't want to put too much because it can kind of get smelly, and you don't want your roots to get slimy and mold. So now we can throw these in. I'm just gonna put the smallest ones in the smallest container. This is the guy that has kind of the burnt top. We're not too stoked about him, so we'll just, you know, who knows? He might give us something and we might get some good news. We don't want to give up on a plant that could produce. We're gonna put this weird wacky guy in here. Wow, gorgeous. You do want the nodes, the little bumpies, to be submerged, but try not to submerge the leaves. We'll just plop them there. And this amazing monster guy will go right in there. Perfect. And that's it. We now have 4 brand new plants, hopefully. In a week to 2 weeks, we should see some root growth. If we don't, that's not the end of the world. We can be patient, but typically if it's about a month and you haven't seen anything, you can toss it. It was probably a dud. Place your propagations in bright, indirect sunlight, and after 1 to 2 weeks, you should see some roots growing. Be sure to top off the water as needed due to evaporation in your plant's drinking. Here is an example of a fully rooted pothos that I've had for a few weeks, just haven't had a chance to put her in water yet. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned a little something new about taking better care of the plants in your life. Love, Aspen.